Is what we're seeing, is this the outer edge? Is this as bad as it's going to get? And tell us about what's happening down south.
Yeah, this is kind of the outer edge of the rainfall. It's got a massive rain shield, which I know that sounds bad, but it's actually good because what you've done is you've taken the energy of the storm and you've dispersed it over a larger area. So the winds aren't as bad. You're not going to see as much of that damage. For us, we're really just going to get some showers here and there for the next several days, but we're not going to get a lot of total rainfall. Some pockets could get maybe half an inch, maybe an inch over the next week, but it's down south from the east side of Houston all the way over to Alabama.
I saw that it came ashore in the Laredo, Texas area. Is that pretty close?
Laredo.
Yeah.
No, it came near Texas City.
East of that, what kind of damage did it do?
It was a weak Category 1 when it came through, and that area is pretty well built up. You know, you get a weak Category 1 coming into Louisiana, and Louisianians were like, it's not a big deal. We've had Category 1s. And it didn't stay as a Category 1 very long. It's back down to a tropical storm right now. National Hurricane Center says we're saying that there maybe are 60-mile-an-hour winds, and we're being generous with that. So this thing's almost back down to a tropical depression already. But the problem is the rain. It's not the winds. It's not as much the storm
surge. For down
surge.
south now across that part of Texas from maybe Corpus Christi and up into Louisiana and stuff like that?
Really, it's from about Beaumont all the way over the next several days. The problem with this storm is that it's stalling.
So it came further east than I was aware of. I thought it came aground maybe on the east coast of Texas.
Well, I mean, it came just south of Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, just south of Houston. Between Corpus and Houston is where it came in. But most of the rain, though, is not where the center of the storm is. If you go look on radar, you'll see a little curlicue directly over Houston of some rain. That's where the technical center of the storm is. But this is a lopsided storm. You get on the west side of Houston, they have no rain there. It's all on the east side, all the way over into Louisiana. That's where the rain is.
Can you explain that to me, how that happens in a 30-second way I can understand?
Sure.
Because normally you see the aerial, the satellite shots of hurricanes, and they're this massive, great, big, round, sweeping storm.
But those are for stronger hurricanes. That's why I said this was a weak Category 1. So when you don't have the storm fully organized, it doesn't get fully centered. Think you know they spin counterclockwise, right? So you put the center of it on the Texas coast, where the left-hand side of that storm, as it's moving north, the left-hand side of the storm is over land. So the right-hand side is over the water, and it's spinning around counterclockwise. So it's pulling all that moisture up out of the Gulf of Mexico, dropping it on land, and as it swings around on the other side, on the left-hand side of the storm, the western side of the storm, it's gone overland. There's not as much moisture to pull up there and continue with the raining. So that's why it dries out on the left-hand side of the storms, because it gets overland, and it loses its source of fuel.
So how far across, because this hurricane, tropical storm, barely tropical storm Nicholas seems to have, once it came ashore, taken a pretty sharp right turn, just like Ida did. How far across the south or into the heartland as it moves up into, say, I don't know, Mississippi, Tennessee, whatever it happens to be? How much rain are they going to get? Is it still going to be a very rain-centric storm?
Honestly, I'm not as concerned about them in parts of North Carolina, because it's not going to get to North Carolina. At least the lower level circulation is not going to get to North Carolina for several days. This storm is, I'll put it in golf terms for you, it's taking a dog leg to the right. Okay, so as it comes up and it's just turning almost due right, and this thing's almost going to follow just north of I-10, the center of the low-level circulation, as a tropical depression. Or
is it big enough where some of it could pick up moisture from the Gulf still?
That's the thing, is that it's going to stay close enough to the Gulf that it keeps pulling in moisture from the Gulf and raining it on I-10, which is across South Louisiana.
That's the last thing they need down there.
They're going to get another foot of rain. Some models are showing
a foot of rain in the where Ida, they're just starting cleanup.
From Beaumont all the way over to, some models are showing from Beaumont all the way over to Mobile. Over the next 3 to 5 days, you're looking at another foot of rain down there.
Wow.
And that depends upon the model. Some models bring it a little bit further north, but this storm is slowing down.
And that's bad.
And that's bad because it's going to stay close enough to the coast that it can draw in moisture and continue to rain. It's not a windstorm. But remember, more people die in flash floods than die in tornadoes and lightning strikes combined every single year.
So what we're really kind of hoping for to give the folks in South Louisiana a bit of a break is that it actually kind of moves north into the inland and doesn't ride the coastline,
Right.
so it doesn't have the source, as you said, the fuel to maintain its heavy rainfall.
If that center of that low-level circulation makes it up towards Monroe, the state of Louisiana is a lot better off than if the center of that rotation stays from Lafayette to Natchitoches.
And when will we start to know? When will you start to get a sense of what it's going to do? Or do you have a sense already that it's going to ride the coastline based on your experience?
I think this is going to ride the coastline. Well, two things. I think the upper-level circulation and the lower-level circulation are going to separate. So the upper-level circulation is going to head off towards the Carolinas. And that's a good thing in that the storm's not going to be super powerful the whole time. But the lower level circulation is going to stay fairly close to the coast, it looks like.
And moving real slow.
And yeah, it's moseying.
And it could be as much as another foot of rain.
From Beaumont all the way to Mobile.
Including, like I said, all the South Louisiana folks that are just starting
It's possible.
to clean up from Hurricane Ida.
That's possible.